Chris, what is our fourth main topic today?
This comes from Paulo Silva. I just saw a new picture of Gorr from the Thor movie. It seems to be another toy image, but it looks like hot toy quality, almost photorealistic. If this is real, it's easily the best look we've had at the design of the new bad guy. I've never read the comics with Gorr in them, so I don't have any point of reference, but I think he looks awesome. I saw images of what he looks like in the comics, and honestly, I don't think he looks very good in the comics. Why do comic fans want that look instead of this better one?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Paulo. And yeah, listen, we've been starting to get glimpses of Gorr only through toys. Our first glimpse of Gorr in the upcoming movie, being played by Christian Bale, was from the Lego set of the Goat Boat. Obviously not giving us a very good look at what Gorr was going to look like. A better look came from toy packaging with the illustrated art of Gorr. And that, up until today, gave us what is pretty much our best look at Gorr. Now, of course, the Thor Love and Thunder trailer dropped yesterday. I'm still buzzing about it. I watched it like 8 more times last night.
I did too. I went back and watched
Oh
it.
my God, that trailer is so good.
It was worth the wait.
Joy-inducing.
Yes.
That trailer is
Well put.
joy-inducing.
Well put, sir.
And I won't lie to you. At some point, I was doing some work last night, and I just opened up YouTube and just found the old music video for Sweet Child of Mine and just put that on loop for about 3 or 4 times as I was doing my work.
Can I just say, I was reading some Facebook postings where people were like ripping on Guns N' Roses and talk like, yeah. And okay, has our society become so deeply cynical that you're going to go back and make fun of Appetite for Destruction? I mean, come on, man.
Who makes fun of Appetite for Destruction?
I don't know, but this is the
internet. Yeah,
this is the internet. I mean, my God, it's take the win.
Yeah.
Take the win.
Anyway, the trailer is great, and Sweet Child of Mine is great, and Appetite for Destruction is great.
Yes, it is.
But all that being said, we talked about how Hasbro was going to be doing an earnings call the day after the trailer came out, and that certainly happened, and then they released some new information. And we got our look at this Marvel Legends figure of Gorr, the God Butcher, of course, the villain being played in Thor, Love and Thunder. That was not in the trailer, rightfully not in the trailer. They're going to put him in the... By the way, I think that first trailer could come in less than 2 weeks. I think that first trailer could come with Doctor Strange.
Plus, I think it would be spoilerish. I think there might be some spoilerish stuff that I don't necessarily want to know right now.
Well, we'll find out. So our first look at the toy came out, and here's what our viewer was talking about. And it's right here. First of all, very good look at the blade. Now, I don't know what they're going to call it in the movie. I don't know if they're going to call it the Dark Blade or if they're going to actually call it the Necro Sword. Once again, Marvel unofficially referred to Hela's sword in Thor Ragnarok as the Necro Sword. But I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that was ever said in movie. I don't think it was ever referred to.
I don't think so. No.
So even if they refer to as the Necro Sword outside of the movie, they are still free and clear in movie canon to refer to the blade as the Necro Sword because, of course, in the comics, that's what it is. Listen, I got to say, I agree. Now, look, I disagree that I think Gorr in the comics looks bad. I don't think Gorr looks bad. I don't think the look of Gorr the God Butcher in the comics would translate great to the big screen. And on top of that, you would have to CGI the character, in which case you're losing out on one of the great performers of our generation in Christian Bale, doing his first comic book movie since he was Batman. And there's something about this look that I really love. There's almost something about a villain who is the humble monk kind of feel to it, right? That is actually quite terrifying. Actually, one of the really good villains, I wasn't huge on The Legend of Korra, the follow-up to Last Airbender. I wasn't huge on it, but they had a couple of those villains that were kind of like the humble monk kind of villains. I'm like, oh, these guys are really work. There's something about that look that I like quite a bit, especially with them dressed in white, with the Necro Blade and all that kind of stuff. I think with Christian Bale playing this, I think we are in... Obviously, I cannot say this with any kind of certainty because I haven't seen the movie yet, all right?
Right.
I am guessing. I think we are in for a Thanos level kind of villain. And I don't mean power level. I mean like a villain that everybody loves. I think we are in for a truly great cinematic villain here with Christian Bale. Otherwise, I can't imagine the kind of character that would get Christian Bale to break his "I'm never doing comic book movies again" thing and to say, yeah, I'll play that. I can't, with an Academy Award winning writer, by the way, writing that character. I think this looks really good. I think it's going to be great. All due respect for people who want to look like the comics. But here's the thing. 99% of the people who are going to go see this movie have never seen or read the comic book with Gorr the God Butcher in it. They've never read the story of Gorr fighting the 3 time period Thors all at once, which, by the way, is pretty badass. But no one's ever seen it, so no one's going to care. It was not, it's absolutely, I read this one guy on Twitter saying it was absolutely important that they nailed the look of Gorr and they blew it. No, it wasn't. It wasn't important at all. Nobody's ever seen a picture of him. I mean, speaking in hyperbole, of course. Nobody's seen it, so I think this is good. We're going to get to see one of the great actors of our generation's faces doing this thing. I think this is going to be great. And I wouldn't have had a problem with it if they went with the comic book design. I just think it would have been a shame that they would have overcomplicated it for no reason, and you would have been covering up the facial acting of Christian Bale. But that's just kind of my take on it. Hey guys, we want to take a minute and thank the sponsor of today's video, the good folks at Keeps. Now look, you guys probably already know that 2 out of every 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're just 35 years old. Now that's where Keeps comes in, because Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. That means the guys that use it love it. Keeps offers a simple, affordable, and stress-free way to keep your hair. It's also low cost. Treatments start as low as just $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions for the 2 FDA-approved medications to prevent hair loss. That means treatment plans are affordable, typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. Keeps has everything your hair needs delivered straight to your door with discreet packaging and proven results. Remember, prevention is the key. Treatments can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so the sooner you act, the better. When it comes to your hair, save more, spend less with Keeps. So if you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to Keeps, that's KEEPS.com/Campea to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/Campea to get your first month free. Keeps.com/Campea. Chris, you had a chance to take a look at the look of this figure. We saw some previous looks starting from Lego and then an artist's version of it, but now we're seeing a really good model from the Marvel Legends line. I don't know. What are you thinking about the look?
I think this is cool. I like it. And honestly, I think we would have had some issues if we went with the more comic realistic look, because he'd look quite a bit like Ebony Maw, minus the kind of Twi'lek tendrils that we've seen him in most comic book renditions lately. Otherwise, he's kind of a green character, but there's a Muppety quality to the comic book character. Honestly, honestly,
you're not wrong.
It's like Deadly the Muppet, right? The kind of dragony one. There's a snout to it. The mouth is changed, so we would lose a lot of the kind
Muppet
of
who played the Phantom of the Opera when they did their version of that.
Exactly.
Yes,
I love Deadly. But so I do think we would lose a lot of what Christian Bale does best, are those just intense facial expressions, right? So I'm pretty pleased with seeing this. I think he looks rad. He's less Voldemort-y than I had thought in previous renditions, because, in the Lego one, there was much to be left desired.
Yes.
But I think this will be cool. And ultimately, it doesn't really, it might upset some people, it doesn't really matter how he looks. What matters is he giving a great performance? Is he being of service to the story? Are we getting the essence of Gorr the God Butcher, who wants to be baptized in the blood of the gods? That's what I care about, not how his face looks.
Rob, you've had a chance to take a look at it. You're more familiar with the story on this. What do you think about the look we're getting? And again, I don't want to. I'm not saying it would have been a bad thing if they went with a comic accurate look of it, but how important was it or not that they went with it? And what do you think about the new look?
Well, John, as you know, I've said this a lot on the show. I think one of the great strengths of the MCU is how they've translated their characters from page to screen. I don't think there's ever been a pantheon of characters like what the MCU has done. I remember the final iteration of Captain America's costume in Captain America: The First Avenger. When he's fighting in World War II.
Right.
That was clearly Captain America, but they reimagined it to look like it could be an effective battlefield costume. And yet it was still Captain America. And this is after they had already given us on his USO tour that classic Cap look from the comics. no one has done a better job of translating their characters in terms of their look from page to screen than the Marvel Cinematic Universe has done. I'll bet you, like you said, while the character does not look exactly like he does in the comics, and I don't think pretty much any superhero, I think the closest you could come is Christopher Reeve as Superman. If you made Gorr the God Butcher look exactly the way he did, translated him exactly the way he was in the comics to live action, and it is Taika Waititi, even for Taika Waititi, it would be a little goofy. A little goofy.
Well,
I mean, you might be able to make it work.
Well, Eagles fan posted a theory of how it could work, of the more he kills, the more alien he becomes.
That's
That
interesting.
could be really cool.
I mean, that's
all right. I could buy that.
But
that
I
could
think
be fun.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea, but I think the way that we've seen him look, like in these toys, he looks badass.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's in a movie that I want to see. You know, and it, like you pointed out, it's Christian Bale. He's an exciting performer. You don't want to slather his face with something. I mean, the interesting thing about Thanos is he looks like Josh Brolin. You could see Josh Brolin's face in Thanos. And while they weren't going to go CG, I don't think they were going to go CG the way with Christian Bale. But that character looks really cool.
Yeah.
And he looks formidable. And I think when he starts wrecking shop, as we've speculated, maybe he comes to Olympus and kills Russell Crowe. Who knows? Mm-hmm. When that character, the way it's designed now, comes swinging that blade with a bloodlust in his face, I'm scared, dude. I'm scared. I'm scared already, and I haven't seen him on camera at all, other than, come on.
And you know, there's something about the simplicity of the look of the character as well that I think is going to let you really, because I get it. Look, we're used to Marvel with all the 7 different bright colors and all the ornate detail. A villain in a simple white robe with the Necrosword in his hand.
Dude.
That's all I need.
Killing gods.
Killing gods. I mean, that's pretty badass. I want to go over to Ray and ask him, because Ray, you were actually working on, thumbnails with this character and everything. What do you think about the look of Gorr? Is it working for you, not working for you? What do you think?
It works. It kind of reminds me of, at least this picture I'm looking at from the side of the Marvel Legends box. There's a little Drax to him, but I do dig like the little scars he has. If those are stitches or scars, it tells you those things tell you a story about what this guy's been through already without even opening, saying anything. Other than that, I can't wait to see him in this movie. How does he do his voice? Is it going to be the Batman voice?
He's going to yell, swear to me, Thor.
Swear to me, Thor.
Or is he going to be more Patrick Bateman?
Rachel! Wanda! No. Yeah, he looks fine, I guess. I wait for the movie. I mean, it's probably going to look way better than any of these toys, obviously.
Oh, I agree. Once we actually see some life, like the life that Christian Bale's going to breathe into it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, question is for you. I know this is going to divide some people who pretend that they've read the comics, but what do you think about the? I don't know. I think I almost made Chris spit up her.
Almost did a spit take.
And she turned towards me.
I know.
No one there. She went towards me. I'm the first choice. So and Rob too. Watch.
Well, she'd have to be. That's a powerful blast.
Yeah, like she's like right beside
That's
you. Anyway,
a powerful spit take.
Question for you guys is, what do you think about this new look we're getting of Gorr the God Butcher? I personally think it's great. We'll see how it turns out on screen. Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there.